Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois and welcome back to Skybees. In the last episode, we were working on some automation stuff. We were upgrading all of our machines a little bit and just kind of doing some questing. Nothing too major. And today, what I want to do is more automation, but specifically, we're going to automate this guy, the quantum compressor. And we're going to try to make it look kind of fancy. So that's going to be the goal. Now, today is, when I'm recording this anyways, and hopefully when this goes up, is New Year's Eve. So I hope everybody had a good 2022 and a better 2023, because you can always have a better year. So yeah, between episodes, let's see, what did I do? I did a little bit of building. This is where we're going to put the machines. This floor is temporary. I think I'm going to switch it to something else, but I'm a little nervous about switching it to that because what I saw that might be cool is these rainbow bricks. And I don't know if they're going to be terribly good looking. We need porcelain bricks, which is not too terrible to get. We are going to need a lot of clay, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll see. I always struggle a little bit trying to decide what to build the buildings out of, and I need to put the time in to actually build relatively soon. But we need to get automation so we can start getting singularities. Once we start getting singularities, then things are going to be a lot better. So other thing I did between episodes is I installed a couple more apiaries. So I installed one there and one here. And this one is kind of clever because I've locked a bunch of the bees in here. So the icy, snowball, dadcraft bees, we don't really care about them too much. And there's only 2 bees of each type in the actual hive. So that hopefully things will go pretty quickly. And this one is going to struggle with the salt and the sulfur bees because they both want the same thing. But I don't really care about them, so it's not a big deal. And if we come down here, we might have a problem later. So this is kind of full of stuff, and this does get full. So we might have to like condense these into the what are they called? The blocks, the honeycomb blocks. And that might be a thing we have to do. We'll see. We'll kind of play things by ear. But there are a lot of bees, and so condensing all of those into honeycomb blocks might be a little bit of a pain. But we could actually, there's an idea. We could actually do it here. So we make the crafters. That might be what we do. All right, so that is a plan if we need to. We'll craft them at the hives and then send them along. It would require quite a few flux points, but that's okay. We can handle that. Speaking of which, we are going to need a flux point today. So let's just get into today's like what I want to do for today. So we're going to make some things that look kind of cool, hopefully, and still be very useful. So first things first, we're going to need to get a couple things automated. Now we're going to need a lot of these ultimate catalysts, and they're not too terrible to make. I believe we can make black iron slates, but we can't make black iron. So we need to teach the system how to make black iron and automate that. So processing, alloy kiln, we'll just do that. And can we do fancy things? Probably not. Or do we want to make the other version? It requires lava as well. We could just throw coal in there. You know, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this here. And that is not how things are supposed to be. So let's get one of each. And that should be okay. Is there a better way we can do coal? Can we do like coal pieces? No. We could do wood. I think wood might be better. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to send things over to be smelted. And that should be fine. So the only other thing we're going to need to do is just make sure that we have plenty of wood in here, and make sure that the system knows how to make just normal wood, which I don't think I ever taught it, so that might be a good thing to teach. And we'll just do that. So that should make things a little bit easier. We're going to need a crafter. And while that is being made, we can kind of set up the plan over here. So we're going to actually move. Do we want to move that? Or do we want to just run cables across? I think we can just run cables across. So we're going to want a chest. We're going to want our crafter as soon as it's ready. And we should be able to do some complicated stuff. We're actually going to want a few crafters, so let's make like 4 more. And the one should be done as soon as the construction court is done, which there we go. And we can at least take this guy over and start working on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this, we need an interface. We could make another interface, or we could do some fancy stuff. You know what, let's do some fancier stuff. Can't I do something like this? Because I would like access to the interface if possible. We could make the recipe a little bit different. And let's just make sure we can still make, let's say, the plates. We should be able to. Or they're called slates. Yeah, black iron slates. We can make one of those. And there it goes. Perfect. So we can make things a little bit nicer. We can then move this stuff and move our alloy kiln over here, so it's a little bit easier to work with. Because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a crafter and a chest, and that is not the way. We can take a cable, do this, and then this is where we'll put our recipe, but we can also put the Ender crafter here. That works just fine. I actually don't like the way those are set up, so we'll put it back like this. Okay, so what we can do is we can grab some cables and whatnot, and we're going to actually change this recipe once again. So the processing recipe, we're going to put this in here. We're going to get rid of the oak planks, and what we're going to grab is we're going to grab coal. So what we can do with this is we can actually have the system keep stock of some coal in our alloy kiln by using this guy. I believe export. Yep. So it's going to keep a stack of coal right there, and we should be able to put this in properly. Now the question is, let's go grab our book, because that should tell us. It's gigantic. Heavy machinery? No, it is a simple machine. No. Construction? Power? No. Where? There we go. Overview. So alloys, so that's good. Okay, so not entirely sure if this is going to work well. We do need to get our cables, so I don't know that this is going to work the way I'd want it to, but we do have some logistical transporters, and the big thing we can do with this is we can just attach this like so. No, those do not attach. Okay, so there is another way we could do this. Let's break this one, and we can put this facing upwards. Perfect. And then what we can get is a hopper, because hoppers should connect to it, but I don't know if it's how smart it's going to be. So this is where we probably can't do the import thing the way I wanted it to be, but that should work. We just need to kind of figure out, let's see what happens if we request some black iron. Request 10. So it should have, you cannot automate the alloy kiln. All right. But that is unfortunate. All right, well then that is going to be the way it is. We can keep the stack of coal there. That's fine. And then we can manually do things. All right, so it doesn't seem that you can automate that. So this plan is not going to work, but we do need the crafters for some other things. So let's grab some crafters, and we're going to place them 1, 2, 3, 4. We can put a torch there. Why not? All right, so things we're going to want to teach the system how to make. I want to teach how to make the quantum compressor. So that is not too terrible. We just need the catalyst and the black iron frame. Black iron frame is easy enough. The components and the catalyst. We are then going to teach this catalyst and the components. And do we actually already know how to make the luminescence? We do. Cool. So then we can just put all of these in here, and presumably we could tell it to make a quantum compressor, and it would. Perfect. I'm going to keep that for now, because we're going to need, what is it, 17 quantum compressors. So that is something that it's going to be easier just to teach this, tell the system to make it for me, than to do anything manually. And what we can do is start setting up our automation. So the next thing we're going to need to teach the system how to make is the storage monitors, which I believe it said it can autocraft all of that. We don't actually want dark glass. We want just normal glass. And we're going to need at least 17 of these. So storage monitor, we'll just go with 1 for now. I'm going to set up 1 as a proof of concept, and then we can set up more stuff later. We're going to need some power. I don't think we need all that much power, but we're going to need a little bit. And we're going to need a detector. And this is something. So we're also going to need to teach both redstone components. So redstone comparator and the redstone torch. Easy, easy. And the detectors are going to be the key part of this whole thing. So we're going to make 1 of those. We're also going to want some glowstone lamps, which should not be a problem to make. or redstone lamps. That's what they're called. Let's see. Do we have... Can I see them quickly enough, or should I just search it? It's always the question. Alright, here's all the redstone components. I don't see it. Let's just do redstone lamps. There we go. We just need a piece of glowstone. Not difficult at all. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up our first of the crafting recipes, coal. So I think... then we're also going to need an exporter. And this is something for each of them. Each set of, like, the quantum compressors, we're going to need an exporter for. And I'm going to need to run some wiring over to this area. Let's bring it through to, like, this corner, as bad as that is. In terms of, like, that's really far away. But should not be too bad to move the cables. And okay, maybe it is, but we can make more cables pretty easily. So I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to start getting things set up with this. I'm going to get the cables ran over so that we can connect it to the main system, and I'll be back once I have a little bit of work done. So I have the detector and the exporter, so those are the important things, and the storage monitors. So let's get this set up a little bit. What we're going to have is we're going to have a quantum compressor. Now these guys do require power. For now we're just going to put the power source here, hook it up to main network, and universal cable. Now these guys also require the ultimate catalyst in order to make the singularities, and 10,000, I almost said 8,000, 10,000 of whatever item we are making into a catalyst. The first one being coal, because why not? So what we can do is we can have some things kind of automatic. So what we can do, and I haven't thought this through, I'm still kind of, this is an idea that's probably going to be refined more later. And we can make it look better as well. So we're going to have storage monitor and a light, and then the detector, and then we can set this up like so. And what we can do is we can detect how much coal is in there. So if we have greater than 10,000, it's going to have a light. And this is where we can export only with a redstone signal. Actually, we could do less than that, but only with a redstone signal what we want. So is that like not connected or something? How do we do this again? So storage monitor for coal. So it's going to tell us how much coal is in there. And then we can have an exporter export coal on redstone signal. So let's send this up to if it's under that amount, so we want it to be over that amount, definitely. And then we want to try to send as close to possible the 10,000 coal. But alternatively, we could just have these set up and we could put a different number. So let's say we could do, so long as we have, let's say 5,000 coal. If it's greater than that amount, it puts a signal out, and we could export coal. You can see it's starting to export. Now this isn't actually going to Unlimited input. Okay, that works. So this isn't going to actually do anything. And this is going to slowly go down. So my thought was, let's turn this off. So my thought was this. We could come up with a clever system so that when we have the exact amount of 10,000 or more, we turn the light on, and then we could have a full like automation thing for this. And I guess what we could do is, see, the problem with all of this is getting exactly 10,000 in here. So we could do a limited input, and I believe if we come over here and grab a catalyst, it should work like this. So what we can probably do is kind of make it somewhat automatic, but also not. So we could just move things around and then have a lever to do the actual like combining. So what I don't know why that is flickering, by the way. It's something, I might get rid of it. But what we can do instead is we could have, I guess we could just put it here. Coal 10,000 greater than. So the light's on type of thing. And then when we see the lights on, we can come over here and we can have like a lever or something so that we can do the export. Do we have a lever? No, but those are really easy to make. We just need some sticks. And let's just make a stack of them. Why not? It's good to have levers. They're useful. But yeah, so we can just have something like this, and we turn that on, and it's going to start importing coal. Now, let's get some stack upgrades. We've seen those before. They were kind of expensive. But let's see upgrades. Stack upgrade. And can we get any speed upgrades? What would it be like to make those for this guy? So stack upgrades. And then I guess it's just speed upgrades. And then the upgrade itself. These guys didn't take any glass, did they? No. Okay. And then we can put those in there. We can get some speed upgrades. That is a range upgrade. That is not what I wanted to make. So speed. I was pretty sure it was supposed to be sugar. Now let's make some speed upgrades. That was nice and easy. Cool. So theoretically, stack and speed upgrades, this is going to go a lot faster. And I want to see what happens when this fills up. Does the ultimate catalyst get used or what? So we don't need any of this stuff now. And okay, then it takes some time to craft. I could potentially get a signal off of that, but we could also do other things. But the biggest issue is what I have is that coal singularities are not used for anything but the ultimate singularity. So it only matters if we have enough of everything for it to craft it. So what we could also do is just have storage monitors, lights, and then when everything is lit up, have a single lever that crafts all of them all at once. I just want to see what happens at this point. Okay, then it starts going again. Okay, that's okay. That means that we could do that if we just had basically a timer. I could figure out, I could probably do calculations to see how long it would take to import all this, and then we could make a timer. And that would make things nice and neat. So whenever we wanted an ultimate singularity, we just look at the timer, which is actually really cheap to make. And we just set however long we want it to be. So we need a machine base. Sure, why not? A clock and 3 redstone torches. This is very cheap, very easy. Is it a quest? Probably not. No. Okay. So what this thing is it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a timer. What we can do is set up a little bit of a redstone thing, and we could set it for a very large amount of delays. There is some other ways you can do this, but this one would actually work. We put a redstone signal in, which is the blue, and then after a bit, let's just demonstrate, and then I can kind of make this, and we'll go from there. So I'll have to figure out about how long it takes for this to fill up with a singularity. But pause while redstone is active. Alright, so what we can do is we can set up a timer. Let's say, so 20 ticks is 1 second. Let's say 100 ticks. And then after 5 seconds, this light will go off. That's close to what we'd want. We'd have to invert the signal. Or no, that might not actually work how I want it to. I know RF Tools does have things that we could use. It's just a matter of figuring out what specifically. I believe the sequencer is decent, but can count redstone pulses up to a specific, and when the maximum is reached, send out its own pulse. Okay, so that is a potential. There is ways we can set up a timer so that we hit a switch, the timer goes, all these would be activated, and when they start crafting the actual singularity, which that is our first singularity, by the way, it would then be the timer would be off, and we could make it a button. That would be easier. We just hit a button, it makes all the singularities, and be done with it. So I'm going to do a little bit more kind of research into that, but this is kind of the general idea. We have lights and storage monitors, and I can make things look a little bit nicer. We can run power underneath and all that kind of stuff. So let's do one last thing before we go. And this should not be too terrible to do. Do we have clay? We do. Let's make some of these rainbow bricks and see if that's what I'm going to use. Because before we start getting into kind of too much, I am going to want to, build. So let's get like 2 sets. And then to make these, smelt. And then craft the normal porcelain bricks, and then smelt them again, and this makes rainbow bricks. Now, are these going to be horrible, horrible things, or are they going to look kind of nice? You know what? I think I might make a bunch of these and then decide. We'll do like a big area. The only problem is clay is a bit of a pain to get. But the best way to do it is with sand and make sure that I can't use this shovel. Do I have another shovel? That will work. And let's just grab a piece of netherite and upgrade it. Perfect. So we should be able to do, is it 1, 2, 3? And just something like this. This is the one we want to use. In fact, I'll probably get rid of that one. It does have Silk Touch, which is nice, but Fortune doesn't work on clay, unfortunately, but we can get a bunch of these pretty easily. Not too much of a concern. And let's see if we can get like just a little bit more. So porcelain, bricks. We have a stack of those. Can make that pretty easily. Like the only other way to get clay, I mean there is a lot of ways to get clay, but like most of them are pretty awful. Dirt with steam or water vapor, or fluid item transformations or other things. I think the best way I found is the sand, but let's see, this will get us 16. This will be pretty quick, and then we can see, and I can decide whether I like it enough or if it's ugly. So let's find out. If we had a floor of this, we can do it just right here. That might be a little much. So I'll figure out something for the flooring to make it look kind of factory-esque. The reason I was thinking the rainbow bricks is because we're going to have all these singularities, and they're all different colors, so mostly. So I'll figure out something, and I'm going to get a little bit of work done on that so that we can start making the ultimate singularities. Now, that's going to take some time because we're going to need a lot of materials to do that, 10,000 of each of the items. And some of them we already have. Some of them, like coal, we probably have enough to do most of the singularities we're going to need in the immediate future. But yeah, one of the big things that we're going to probably have to do is kill some time, and the best way to do that is we're going to probably do questing next time. RF tools, and what else do we have? Astral sorcery, refined storage, applied energistics, all are things we can work on pretty easily and go from there. Then we'll probably start doing some buildings, and hopefully things will look better here. We'll get the map looking nice. I'll finish up some of these other areas, and everything will be great. So that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!